Now for nutrition this morning, we have Oluwakemi Jeje, a passionate child nutrition advocate and wellness entrepreneur committed to making a lasting impact on health and well-being of women and children. As the founder of Whole Eats and Community, she pioneers initiatives that promote wellness and nutrition. Our topic today is festive nutritional tips. I know this is the time that a number of us throw away whatever plans we had for nutrition, and you should please excuse us for that, because I already have some dates I've already planned. I am not listening to what anybody is saying. But you are talking about tips for festive nutrition. It's great to have you, by the way. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I don't know how much we listen to you, but yes, because, I mean, isn't it the season where a lot of people tell you that, look, hey, we can have some cheat days, we can let it go. What do you think about the season festival and nutrition?
Well, we all go red, myself inclusive. All of us, we go red. So we're just trying to be smart about going
There
red
should be
now.
some sort of moderation in it, right?
Well, that's what we say, but do we really do that? Once we get into it, we're in, right? And then it just takes over. But the smart thing to do is to think ahead, like we're having this conversation ahead, before it's really Christmas. And it's everywhere that you look, and it just influences what you do. You look right, left, and there's a bar of chocolate. You look right, there's a glass of wine. You look ahead of you, and there's,
cake.
you know, what can a girl do? Or what can a man do?
So what can a man, a girl, a woman, a child, what can they do?
What can we do? So basically, I'd say the first thing is design your environment to help you when your will falls short.
Falls short. How do you do that?
And you can only do that around your own space. So at least you reduce how much you're taking in a lot of those things. Clean out your fridge a bit. I mean, you have the excuse of your children also for stocking up on biscuits, but in your own personal space, have things that, you need to take. Like the things that help you balance, like your lemon, like your fruits, your salad,
your salads,
in your own personal space. Keep them where you can see them. Keep an image of what an healthy lifestyle will do to you.
Okay.
Keep it top of mind, and then that also helps you. So first of all, I'll say design your environment. Of course, there's going to be a lot of going out, and when that happens,
that's where the challenge is.
when that happens,
going out.
You really
because
have
you cannot
no
design
control.
those environments.
Exactly. Now, what I say about that is also don't focus on what you shouldn't be taking in this season. Guess what? Because what you focus on grows. Right? So you've heard that story about telling a child, don't eat the tree, and they're running straight ahead. And that's where they're going, because all I'm hearing is tree. So don't take chocolate, don't eat unhealthy. That's all I'm hearing. You're programming me to do the very thing you don't want me to do.
You don't want me to do, exactly.
So focus on what you should be doing.
Okay.
So by way of faith, I'm a Christian. I believe the Bible is a solid guide for lifestyle. And we see in the beginning when, it was really dark and everywhere was dark, God didn't say, oh, this darkness, we have to, he just said, let there be light. Right? That was the opposite of what was existing and what he didn't want to see. So focus on what you should be doing. Personally, I'm not there yet. I'm not a very disciplined eater. I don't know very many people that are. Some people are lucky that by upbringing, they've been programmed
to eat
right, at least 80%. But what I'm able to do as I become more aware of my health is to ensure that I'm including things that help me to clean out.
But you see, that discipline comes. I've noticed that discipline comes whenever there is a health scare or a serious ailment. That is no longer it's no longer discipline. Now
I've seen people go through that stage and swear by everything, like I'm never going to have this. And once they get well, they forget.
Yes.
So
at that point, it becomes a necessity. They have to do it, and then that's where they get to. So that means that it's possible somehow to train yourself
sustainably. I haven't seen many of us succeed at this. And those of us that succeed at it, maybe up to 80%, there's still this 20%, gap that it's difficult. Let me tell you something. The battle that we're fighting, as it were, is against a very organized research industry. You touch one bar or one slice of Oreos, and that's it, you're gone. You're going to finish that entire pack, right? The best bet is don't start, right? If the pack is beside you,
yeah, exactly.
And if it's already an issue for you, you take one and then you're just going to say it's just this one, and then you're going to go back, and then you're going to go back, and then the pack is finished. These things are designed scientifically. right? So it really is a tall, tall order. So what I would say for myself, ensure that you have healthy
Options, the things
not
around you.
options, diet. Make sure that you focus on, oh, I have to have a cup of tea, green tea, moringa tea, whatever it is. I have to have a cup
But
of
now
that.
the point is that if you are taking unhealthy stuff and you're trying to put in healthy, does putting in healthy stuff, is that really a balance? If you've taken
It's
so
not a
much of a
balance.
healthy stuff,
It's not a
and then you
balance.
think that by taking 1 or 2 oranges or 1 or 2 carrots, or it's now balanced and all that, but meanwhile, maybe you stuff yourself up with junk and processed food and all of that. Does it really,
It's not
the
balanced. And
salads that we put there and there, does it
I'm not
really help
saying go
anything?
off the train and just have whatever you want to have. But I'm saying we've all heard these warnings enough by now to be very disciplined.
Okay.
But in practice, that's not the reality. The best of us still has a 20% gap to fill. And so rather than focus on that 20% gap, and during Christmas, that gap widens to 40%, 50%. I mean, whatever it is that the person is dealing with, that gap widens. So rather than focus on that gap in this season, focus on increasing healthy eating.
Increasing healthy eating.
Yes.
Can healthy eating be made pleasurable?
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about that. How can one? Because I know that a number of things are changing. People have themes for parties. I don't know if I've ever seen a healthy party or something like that. But in what ways can you make food pleasurable? I mean, the salads and all of that. Do you have any tips for us on that one?
Well, again, practically speaking, and that's the next thing I was going to come to, have systems in place. And sometimes
Okay.
that can be expensive.
Yes.
That can be expensive. So if you
Yes.
want to have your salad and have maybe like your diced mangoes inside your
And most of the
vegetable
time,
salad.
they have a span by which they are still fresh.
Absolutely.
So you're thinking about, if I store this in the fridge, so if I buy a bulk, I can't
Absolutely.
keep them in the fridge for so long.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes you put it in the fridge now.
Your
Nepa,
juices are an alternative source of
do you understand?
sugar. If you're craving sugar
I got
to your-
water lemon from my in-law, and I brought it back to the fridge, and it was just one day. I think I went out and there was no light for a short while, and by the time I came, it was foamy. It didn't seem pleasant to drink.
And then power is also a thing. Otherwise, you could have kept that frozen.
Exactly. So how do you? It's expensive. Is there any way? Is there any hack one can, manage in such times? Or do I just, when I want to eat, I'll make sure I just go to a fresh place and prepare what I want?
So
And
systems. That's what I mean
Okay.
by systems.
All right.
But again, the reality is it's expensive.
It is.
If you have help, for instance, at home, you can have that done freshly every time. If you have power supply, you can have that. You can have your juices done and frozen, and then you bring it out in the morning you want to have it so that it holds throughout the day. And then at least you know that you have sugar alternatives around you. But systems.
All right.
For instance, once I get to my office, I have a cup of tea, herbal tea, every
herbal
morning.
tea. Okay.
Yes.
Now you
Then-
specify when you say tea. I like some
No,
people
it's herbal tea. It's
Herbal tea, exactly. So that's
And I say to people, you shouldn't be, if you're 30, you shouldn't be going about your diet without introducing bitters into them, because we're taking in so much sugar, even from just eating yam and rice. Even if you say, oh, I'm not taking soda, we're taking in so much.
But then these bitters, the local ones people take there, they
I'm
can
not
be
saying
problems.
fabricated.
Okay.
Bitter leaf is bitters.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right.
Your lemongrass has a bit of a bitter taste even in it. Your papaya tea,
All right.
so just ensure that you're taking bitters
All right.
every day.
Every day.
Absolutely.
I don't know how much of our advice I will take, but thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.
You're
All
welcome.
right. While you're there, of course, we have a musical performance right here for us this morning. Hello, good morning. How are you doing?